Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is happening? What's happening, fam? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, on today's conversation, we head straight into the future of Suffolk, located in the Commonwealth of Virginia, a city that is growing fast, new neighborhoods, new business, and big promises. But many residents are asking the same question: is growth happening for the people or around the people? From traffic headaches and school overcrowding to neighborhood investment and public safety, the stakes in this city council race are real. Tonight, I get to have a sit-down convo with candidate Dwight James, who's joining the program today. Man, he's announced that he's running for city council, representing the Suffolk borough city. So just to kind of catch y'all up on a little history of Suffolk. Suffolk is, I believe, the 10th largest population-wise in the state of Virginia. 14. Let me make sure I have is the largest city land-wise, because it is a spread out city. It's a very, very large city land-wise, 14th largest land-wise in the country. So again, great history. They have a huge history when it comes to peanut farmers in Suffolk. I was just sharing with our guest, Mr. James, a while back. I had co-hosted a peanut festival parade in downtown Suffolk, which it was a first for me. It was a lot of fun. Enjoyed my co-host, who I believe she was like the director of tourism in Suffolk, and she helped me out because there was stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, more peanut, more families of generation of peanut farmers. I'm like, whoa, get out of here. So it was great. It was so much history I learned through that parade, and it's a big deal out there. Downtown Suffolk, great city, and it is a growing city. A lot of my friends, when it comes to buying a home, starting a family, they're like, hey, look, I'm moving out there to Suffolk because, for one, the property value is much better compared to some of the other cities here in the Hampton Roads area, and it is a growing. Businesses are moving out there. It is a growing city, but yeah, they do have, instead of being at large like how Chesapeake, my home city, is still at large, has an at-large council. They have a boroughs system there, almost similar like to a ward district system. So I want to say there is five boroughs. Then you also have your elected mayor. So a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individuals sitting on their council if you include the mayor. But look, friends, I always talk about the importance of local politics. We time and time again, we focus on what's going on the national level, which, don't get me wrong, what's going on in Washington trickles down on the state level, trickles down on the local level, and it very much so affects us here. I mean, we see the grocery prices, we see the gas prices, we see it all, we see the effects. But at the end of the day, it's very important to have an understanding, have a knowledge of what's going on in your local community, in your backyard. And that's why I always enjoy when I have the chance to talk with folks that are running for a local office, because it's extremely important. It's extremely important. And I'm also too speaking with young individuals that are making a leap and running for a local office, because that's another thing. I'm big when it comes to folks of a certain age in politics, really. And look, it's not an ageist thing, but we see a lot of times where folks that have been in office for quite some years that are just not giving up on that that position that they hold, and now you see young folks taking a leap of faith, joining the race and wanting to do something better in their community. So again, you're going to be in for a treat on today's show here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, my friends, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune into yet another great convo. You know, we drop new episodes Monday through Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, as well as wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts, iHeart, Apple, Spotify, just to name a few. You can also listen to us on the radio airways. If you happen to be in the New Orleans area, be sure to turn to WBOK 1230 a.m. You can listen into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, that's only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. And then if you happen to be in the metro Atlanta area, go ahead and tune to WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk to the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen into the show. And then lastly, if you happen to be in Sin City, Las Vegas, that is, my friends, on your way to the casino, on your way to catch a great, sporting event or a concert, look, turn your radio dial to KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM to the Arrington Gavin Show. We air Fridays at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. Again, that's only on KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM. All right, family. I hope you all are having a wonderful day today. I'm sounding a bit clearer now. Still quite stuffy because remember last episode I was struggling, man. I was coughing throughout the whole show, but I appreciate y'all for sticking with me. So the previous night, man, for the first time I tried out it's called a neti pot, and I didn't even know we had it in the house. My wife just goes in the linen closet. She's like, "Hey, look, we got a neti pot. You want to try it out?" And I'm like, I guess, because I've always seen it on social media and how it works and all that stuff. The neti pot is where you kind of you squeeze a tube, or sometimes you even pour like a solution, right? They have this little powder solution that you fill with like warm water, and you basically squeeze it up one nostril, and it's supposed to drain and come out the opposing nostril, and it's supposed to drain all the mucus and the snot out. And I'll just say it was an experience. It was an experience. Would I try it again? I probably will, but my first experience was awful, man. I was like consuming all that freaking. I'm like, oh God, I'm choking, I'm drowning. And it was an experience. That's all I can say. But I'm breathing much clearer, right? I slept better last night, because that's the one thing when I hate being, somewhat having a cold or allergy problem. It affects my sleep, and I already don't sleep to begin with. I'm one of those guys. I'm a night owl. So I can go to bed late, get up early. That's just how I am. But yeah, I tried out the neti pot. So it was pretty good. Now, this is not a promo or anything like that, but I was just giving you my what's the word I'm looking for? I was giving you my experience with the neti pot. So it's so far worked for me, and I'm glad to be feeling a lot better than I previously was on the last show. But friends, look, we're gonna head to a quick commercial break. Do not go anywhere. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't change that dial. We'll be right back after this.
What's up, y'all? Welcome now.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new Gold Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
6'10", number 1 pick, 16 seasons, College Player of the Year, All-Rookie Standout. Joe Smith built a career on grit, consistency, and showing up.
Greatness isn't just about the game. It's about how you show up every day. Rugged Evolution now offers body care products for every man, because not every man wears a beard, but every man deserves care. Greatness doesn't fade.
It evolves. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Every beard deserves to be legendary, and every man deserves care.
All right, family, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. As I mentioned, look, we have a special guest on tap for you all today. Let me go ahead and bring him on. Mr. Dwight James, who is a candidate for Suffolk City Council, representing the Suffolk Borough City Council, that is. Mr. James, Dwight, what's going on with you, boss?
How you doing, Mr. Gavin? Appreciate you letting me be on the show.
Absolutely, man. Well, look, I've heard about your announcement through social media. Again, being a resident here in Hampton Roads, it's a small area, right? Hampton Roads is big, but at the end of the day, we're all neighbors here, and so Suffolk is just right next door, not too far from Chesapeake. And when I heard about this, I'm like, man, I gotta have this guy on, man, because for one, I'm always continuing to learn new things about the city of Suffolk. But before we get talking really about Suffolk, obviously the reason that you are planning on, or that you have announced that you're running for city council. If you don't mind sharing the audience just a little bit about yourself, man, just, kind of like the upbringing and what kind of led you to make this decision.
Born and raised in Portsmouth, ended up moving to Chesapeake. I lived on the borderline. A lot of people know airline. So I lived closer to Portsmouth schools, but because of the breakup in the city, I ended up going to Western Branch. I graduated from Western Branch in 2015. Immediately after that, I ended up joining the United States Navy. So I did 7.5 years in the Navy, search and rescue swimmer, 4 deployments, 2 deployments to the Middle East, 1 deployment to the High North, that's the Arctic area, and an deployment to the Med. Following that, I ended up getting my real estate license around about 2019. Ended up doing some college. I went to Centera College, got my electrician construction certification. Then I went on to Bryan and Stratton and studied in business. So that led me to moving on to Suffolk. After I got out the Navy in 22, I moved to Suffolk around about that time, 21, 22. And since then, I've been doing mentorship, which I've been doing for years. Coaching soccer. I was coaching soccer at a club called SYAA, Suffolk Youth Athletic Association. Now I actually coach at Lakeland High School. I just accepted that role recently. But just been doing a lot of community work for years, man. Just years, just kind of just keep my head down and just grinding, just trying to retire early by my 40s. That's always been my goal since I was young. I always see my granddad and my all his friends, and I see them, they're like 70 and they're still working. I'm like, man, when I'm 70, 60, 70, I don't want to be working at all. I always push forward and look out for the best interests of people in general.
Man, yeah, I hear you on that one. I'm the same as far as like, constantly always working. I've always said, I don't know if I ever see myself retiring, but I definitely want to, work to the level where I, for one, really, really enjoy what I'm doing. And I can really, say create my own schedule. Like if I get up and be like, do I need to go to work? No, I don't really. But, long story short, I definitely hear what you're saying there. Look, man, what won you over? How did Suffolk win you over? You mentioned you were born in Portsmouth. you lived a little bit in Chesapeake. These are all, all cities within the 7 cities of Hampton Roads. How did Suffolk win you over?
So I actually bought a house. I bought my first house at 18. I bought it in Virginia Beach, and then I end up buying another house. I ended up renting that house out, buying another house 2 years later. I lived in Norfolk, and I was driving. At that time, I had a Scion TC and a Kawasaki Ninja 1000 motorcycle ride. One day I was on my way to work. I woke up late. I was trying to back out my driveway to go to work. And with Navy traffic, man, it's crazy. So I couldn't even get out my driveway because the house across the street had parked their car on the street. So I had to go to my neighbor's house, knock on the door. They wouldn't answer. I was like, man, there's no way I can be in a city that's just this overcrowded. I can't even get out my driveway of my house. I wanted to push out more out to Suffolk area to see what they had to offer, and I wanted a bigger house as well. And that's how I end up placing my roots out here in Suffolk.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, look, man, I guess the big question is why politics, right? You mentioned that you do a lot in the community in the city of Suffolk. You have a passion for service, right? But politics is always, it's an iffy slope, right? Not everybody, is a fan of, entering into, the political space, especially when it comes to local office, right? You have a lot of public servants, right, that have been in office for a while, and look, you don't become a millionaire off of politics at all, right? You not. So it takes time and patience. Why, what made you say, okay, look, I want to take a leap of faith. I'm looking at some issues happening within my community. I think I'm the right answer for that can help take care of these issues and also the constituents in the Suffolk borough.
I would always say I feel like I'm always driven by God. I would say that it wasn't me purposely saying I just want to get into politics. I would say that God has set me up throughout my levels. A lot of people would say, as I've moved on, they're like, man, you've done things I've never seen people do. You've done things that it takes people to their 40 or 50 to do. And I'm just like, I'm in the right spot at the right time. So I felt like it was time for me to move to Suffolk. And right immediately after moving to Suffolk, I started coaching soccer. I started pushing mentorship out there, and I just felt like everything just happened at the right time. I just recently opened my skating rink in downtown Suffolk. It's the first skating rink they had in 35 years. So I
Wow,
just
that's
felt
awesome.
like God has
Congratulations.
been building up a platform. Thank you, thank you. So I feel like God's been building up a platform for me to serve the city of Suffolk. And I would say I live the day to day of what the Suffolk residents live. A lot of people feel like the council is kind of out of touch with reality. And I'm a part of that reality. Like I have a son that goes to Elephants Fort Elementary, who actually is in an overcrowded school, who's actually in a trailer. He's not even in the school. So when it snows, rains, or anything, he has to come outside the trailer, walk outside, knock on the door to get entry in the building just to use the bathroom, just to go to eat. So I'm living the reality of sitting in traffic for an hour trying to go to Portsmouth, because my family still stays in Portsmouth. I'm living those realities. So I'm really in touch with what's going on, and hearing all the people say hey, this is bad, the schools are this, the roads, the infrastructure needs fixing. It's just like I kept hearing it, and people kept coming to me, people kept gravitating to me like, man, this is something, is this something that know about? And it's like, I'm not in politics, but it was like I guess I felt like all these people were coming to me and kept coming to me. I'm like, man, God must be telling me this is something I need to move to. So when I found out that the person, my incumbent that I'm running against, he ran unopposed when he ran his last term. So I was like, well, this term I want to make sure, that I at least give him a challenge. I want to give I want to give the people of Suffolk a better option, or at least an option, to choose from. So I always feel like, I don't think I'm the most perfect person on earth or anything like that. But I understand what the residents are going through, and it's the same thing that I feel. So I just feel like it was just a call to service, just like the Navy called me to service, and I'm gonna serve it the best way I can.
I hear you there, man. And also, I forgive me. Thank you for your service. After I mentioned you served our country, man. Definitely thank you for your service. Uh, you've mentioned in your campaign talks about balance, fairness, and thoughtful planning. Now, those are some strong words. What does that look like in practical terms for Suffolk families?
So a lot of people feel in the same way I feel too. Like I said, I live the reality they live in. There's a lot of houses being thrown up everywhere. There's no real balance. You see a house here
Mm,
in this neighborhood, then you see houses built up back there, then you see a rezoning here, then another house. It's like we're just rezoning to build. And I understand they want to make money. They're trying to make money, but what they're not understanding is the infrastructure is already strained already. So the more houses we build, it's just adding on to the infrastructure. And I've always said, like, I'm not against the growth, like I'm not against housing. I'm a real estate agent. I've built new construction homes. I've renovated plenty of houses out here. That's how I made a lot of my money. Um, so I'm not against growth, but I think there needs to come a balance. Like we need to get some schools. There's a lot of our report came out recently that a lot of schools are in poor condition. So it's like we need to get these schools up and running. We need to find replacements for these schools because they have them that they're supposed to be replacing the school, but they haven't found where they're going to put the school at yet. So it's like we need more balance. Instead of us keep approving all these houses, we need to have some balance where we're doing infrastructure as well. We're already behind the
mhm.
curve. Everybody knows that. You can look out, you can just go outside and see that we're behind the curve on infrastructure. And I'm sure they know that after getting fussed at for so many times, so many meetings. But I just don't feel like they're listening. Like you have to start at some point you have to start listening. Like people are gonna yell at you and yell at you, but at some what point are you gonna listen? So they haven't really listened. And I think like this year with 4 seats up, I know you had said earlier there was five, there's actually 7 seats and then the
Okay.
mayor. So with 4 seats up right now, this is like the perfect time for the people to actually get out there and make some changes. Because we need to get some people in there that's more about balance, some people that got vision. We can make more money just not just by building houses. Houses have a double-edged sword. A lot of people don't know that. Like when you build a development of houses, those houses come with kids, and those kids add strength to the infrastructure. Not only it costs the city money, it costs about $16,000 per kid when you go to school, like public school.
Wow.
It costs for that. So it's like they think that they're making this money off the taxes, but when you really kind of balance out the numbers, like I'm not really making that much money, right? Which is another reason why our taxes are so high still. But I want to give the city different options. I want to give them new vision. Like there's tourism stuff that we can do. Like I've been pushing for a sportsplex in Suffolk. Like you said, it's the 14th largest by landmass city in the country.
In
So
the
it's
country.
like, why don't we have these things? Why don't we have a sportsplex, for the kids? I feel like we've been lacking on the kids a lot. And our kids are taking a toll. Like the kids, man, we thought Portsmouth was like bad with like the kids and stuff like that. Suffolk, it's the same, and it's like you can't really fault the kids. People are like the kids are so bad. Even when I opened up a skating rink, they didn't want me put it there. They said the kids was going to destroy it, stuff like that. And I was like, where do you expect the kids to go? You give them
Yeah.
overcrowded schools. You give them absolutely nothing to do, but you expect them to be perfect angels. That doesn't make sense. We got to start giving something for the kids to do. We need to give them outlets. We need to give them places where they can actually play sports. It's hard
Hmm.
to play sports, when you're in high school, you got a certain amount of players you can have in high school. But those kids might not be able to be on that level to play on a high school sport, middle school sport. They might have to play club sports. But the club sports right now, they're suffering because they don't have anywhere to go. They try to go to Parks and Recs. Parks and Recs charges them too much to come there. It's too expensive. It's just a small team, AAU team. They can't go to Parks and Recs every day and pay the fee just to go there. They can't afford it. It will never work out because then it would be on the kids. The kids' parents wouldn't be able to afford it. So we got a lot of kids that are just out here in the streets, like, and I mean like in the streets, drinking, drugs,
Wow.
vapes. Like
Wow.
I'm talking about, I confiscate vapes at the skating rink, maybe like 30 every Friday night from teens. I'm talking about 14-year-olds, 12-year-olds walking around with vapes out here. So it's like, where do we have the balance? We need a balance. We need to figure it out.
You know what? You've spoken on so many key things, Dwight, because for the word I've been sharing this with a lot of people. The word of the year for me now is transparency, right? Being transparent with with your voters, with your residents. You've hit on, well, for one, in regards to here, it's happening. I hear it's happening in Suffolk, but really just all around Hampton Roads. You're right. Houses are being built. Housing developments are being built. Developments that are not cheap, by the way. Okay, that are not cheap whatsoever. But they're continuing to build all these houses, and like you said, when it comes houses, comes kids, and now you're overpopulating, you're overcrowding these schools. I mean, to hear that your kid is in a trailer in 2026 to me is just baffling, especially coming from a city that has the most land, has all the land in the world to build, to build an attachment and has the funds, by the way, to build a newly, a much larger facility. But you also, mentioned in regards to how the city was, saying, well, I don't think the skating rink will help because that's going to cause more crime. But at the end of the day, I'm like, well, how do you expect to uplift youth in the area, right? So I have, I'm using my home city as an example because we have a lot of communities that are being overlooked. I mentioned, Chesapeake is at large. We don't have a single member voting system. So we have a council that tends to, always take care of the good side, and they don't take care of the side that really needs the assistance, right? If you give a community crumbs and you're asking why are they starving, you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't make it make sense to me. And then you also mentioned about the vapes. One thing I've noticed in Hampton Roads is we're seeing vape shops open left and right. I'm talking on the same block, sometimes even next door to each other. I'm like, how many vapes do we need? Tobacco vapes? I'm like, it blows my mind because I know a lot of being a small business owner myself. I know a lot of business owners in the area, independent business owners, that they struggle to try and get, almost just paperwork to get open. And it's like, wow, why are you having so many, walls and leaps and bounds that you have to, try and, hop over but then vapes are just like, oh, vape, good. You're going to be good for the community. Oh, let's go. It just make sense.
We fight that down here in Suffolk too. Like a lot of small businesses here, that's been a real big complaint here. And actually, the city's trying to figure out how to overhaul that and make it a better process because we're asking ourselves, how does 500 houses get built that fast? But yet one house renovation takes almost a year, for just one house. So
Wow.
they're trying to figure that out because we're like, hey, that doesn't even make any sense that these houses are being thrown up so fast. But the small business, the small guy that wants to renovate a deck, put a deck in their backyard, has to go through a ringer to do a deck. But yet these houses you can put 500 houses in a small section, almost on top of each other, and it's good to go. So they're trying to figure that out. I know some of the people in planning and development stuff like that have been trying to figure out a better process for the small businesses, but it didn't just start because they just decided, oh, let's make a better plan. It's because there's been a lot of complaints. And like I said, I just feel like it's been a lot of reactive instead of proactive leadership that we have. And I just think it's a lack of vision. I just think they're older, like our counselors older, like they're not. I feels like I just feel like if we're gonna have a council in the city, there needs to be at least some young people on the council that can actually relate to what reality holds. Because a lot of these people on council might not even leave their house. They might go straight to the council meeting and go home. They don't go out. They don't care about like the nightlife for the young adults. They're not worried about any of that. They've already lived and done that. So for them, they're just like, I've already lived and done that. This is how I want to do it. This is the safe way. I'm good. I'm already retired. And it's like, that's not what we need. We need someone with vision. We need someone who can think outside the box on other ways to make money for the city and other ways to do stuff, like people who actually think about the kids. Like I said, I'm still young, so I'm looking at the kids. I'm interacting with the kids full time. So they're telling me like, hey, I don't have this. I mean, one kid told me he wanted to play football, but one of the coaches was trying to charge him $500, citing because they had to pay for fields. And I'm like, I don't remember ever having to pay $500 to play for any team. No one can afford that. Like, it's already a hard economy. Yeah. So it's like, there's no way his parents can afford to pay $500, especially.
I don't even think I paid $500 for my
neighborhoods.
lacrosse equipment. Like that's insane. I don't even remember like paying that on equipment.
Yeah.
But you've hit on a point that I talked a lot about on the show. And I always say, look, I'm not trying to be ageist, but at the end of the day, there is a moment where we're seeing a lot of folks that are not relatable to the public, right? We see a lot of folks that hold on to a political position for quite some years. Like they hold it for way too long, right? And it's just like, why not? We understand that you're in this position, and we thank you for your service, but time for some new vision. At the end of the day, you have to move aside. You can still share some of your vision, on a community level, right? But you can't continue just to stay and say, look, oh, I understand this, I understand that. Because might I ask, Dwight, how old are you?
30.
Okay, bet. So awesome. So we're right at the same age. I just turned 31. So we see exactly firsthand of what goes on in the community, and we see that there is a lack of youth, but mainly just new voices, new vision on council, or just really in politics, right? I went on a huge rant, not to go on
and it's kind of like
separate but yeah, I had a huge rant about folks in their 80s running for re-election. I'm like, Lord have mercy, come on now.
Yeah,
like, enjoy life.
It is backwards. It's backwards. They're like, they always say, yeah, we're planning for the future, like we're building so that people that come behind us could actually have a way up. And I always hear, I've heard that term so much, but every time I've crossed paths with older people who have either made it or been in a position, it doesn't seem like they really want you to come up with them. It almost seems like they want to block you. Oh, it's not your time. And it's like, well, when is it my time? Like, do I have to wait until you say it's my time, or when I feel like it's my time? Because it's like, you guys keep saying you paved the path for us. Well, open up the path so we can come in. It seems like they don't want anybody in there. So, it's gonna be a good fight. But like I said, I'm young, ready for the fight, and I feel like I'm guided by God. Like I said, I feel like I've been put in positions for a reason. I've been given opportunities that other people haven't had in life. So I want to fully take advantage of that, and I want to make sure that I'm giving back. And like I said, I've done service before, so it isn't something new for me. I'm just ready to give back to the people itself. I'm ready to help out. Already doing what I've been doing.
Oh, y'all, I think we had is Dwight still there? I think yep, I can hear you, Dwight.
Hold on, I can't even.
Hold on. Y'all, we're just having a little bit of technical difficulties with Dwight's connection. It happens all the time with technology, right? As we're airing a live show. But look, he's speaking on some key things that I think a lot of folks should be aware of. At the end of the day, it's an individual where he says, hey, look, it's time for me. I'm here to serve. He served our country, right? He serves the community by giving, donating his time. He's brought in a skating rink, for crying out loud. Okay, I think we might have him back here. Let's see. I think we have Dwight back. Let's see. Dwight, can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Let me see.
Can you hear me, Dwight?
Gavin, if you're talking, I can't hear you.
How about now?
I can't hear. Let me see.
All right, well, Dwight's gonna continue. We're gonna continue to work on his connection, y'all. But we're gonna continue to work on his connection. Dwight, if you hear me, just give me a thumbs up. Excuse me. But hey, look, technology, this is how it goes all the time, y'all. Especially for those that are passionate, and when they start really hitting those topics, it starts to affect. I don't know if y'all noticed, I've had on a lot of candidates in the past. Well, not just in the past, I've had on a lot of candidates on this show who speaks on key things. When they start, cooking, right? When they start cooking, it's like, hold on, let me see if I can bring them on now. Can you hear me now, Dwight?
I can't hear you, Gavin.
I can hear you.
Okay.
How, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
he's saying he can't. Hold on.
I can't hear anything.
Hold Hold tight. We're gonna continue to work on Dwight's connection, y'all. We're gonna take a commercial break. Do not go anywhere. You listen to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm joining with Dwight James, candidate for Suffolk City Council. Look, we're having a great convo. We're having a bit of technical difficulties at the moment, but again, we're gonna get this taken care of. So hold tight. We'll be right back after this.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create. From weddings to corporate events and everything in between, we specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
All right, family. All right. So we are continuing to work on Dwight's connection, but just kind of backtracking. Let's see if I see him back on. Let's see if we got Dwight back. Do we have Dwight back?
I still can't hear nothing. This is nuts.
Uh-oh. We're still working on Dwight's connection. Hold on.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, let's see here. Again, y'all. We're gonna see if we have Dwight. How's your sound right now? Still nothing. And see, I can't hear Dwight. Hold on. Say something, Dwight. I can't hear you. Yeah, we are gonna, you know what, it's all good. Just hold tight, Dwight. Hold tight. It happens, y'all. We are having some bad connection issues with Mr. James, Dwight James. He's running for city councilman in Suffolk, right? Suffolk being the 10th largest city in the state of Virginia population wise, and the 14th largest land wise. 14th largest in the 14th largest in the country. All right, land wise, big opportunity. Hold on, I think let's see if we have Dwight back. Still can't hear, and I can't hear Dwight. That is interesting. That's a new for us. Still can't hear anything. Yeah, that is, man, we were having a great conversation. We're gonna continue to play with this, y'all. Y'all gonna be working with us on this episode. But one thing, and now I think he is frozen. We are working diligently trying to get Dwight back on. But one thing I will say, because I'm looking at my time, we got plenty of time left, just to discuss again some of the key things going on in Suffolk. So one thing, as far as issues and concerns that are going on in Suffolk, is that Suffolk is growing extremely fast, right? But the growth happening faster than roads, traffic solutions, and infrastructure, right? So just like how Dwight mentioned earlier, excuse me, there's tons of housing developments being built, all right? Tons of housing developments being built, yet there is no school. There's lack of capacity, there's lack of room in the public schools, because whenever all these new homes are being built, new homes comes with children. Children mean, okay, now the children have to, go to their local public schools. His own kid is in a trailer because they do not have a lot of room in their schools. I mean, y'all, what kind of sense does this make? In 2026, you all are not having the right room. And this goes on in a lot of other cities, not just Suffolk, but Suffolk, again, they have the land, they have the money, they have the funds, they have the land, they have the fun, they have the money. And let's see if we can hear. Can you hear me now, Dwight?
Yeah, I can hear you. I
There
can't
we
come
go.
outside. Must have been some bad signal or something going on.
Look, I was just telling our audience, I'm like, look, when it always happens when we have candidates that are cooking, all of a sudden connection issue. I'm just saying, saying, you were on fire, and then they said, we got to take this man connection out. Hold on, he's saying too much. He's saying too much. No, but I was just kind of reminding our listeners of, what you were mentioning, the fact that key issues happening in the city is mainly stuff that should not occur. Like it's just basic things, right? As far as you focus more on building, but then you don't think of like, okay, you building all this stuff, you're bringing all these people in, but how are you gonna take care of every single body here? We still don't have enough room in our in our schools. You mentioned about your son, or your son.
Yeah, my son. Yep.
Being in a trailer, and I'm just like, what in the world? So I want to ask a little more on this question. So one of the biggest concerns in Suffolk is growth happening faster than roads, traffic solutions, and infrastructure. Now, how would you make sure development pays its fair share instead of existing residents? Existing residents carrying the burden.
So that goes into being more balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously there's going to be housing growth because you got the upper chains, Congress and stuff pushing for more housing because they said we have a housing shortage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's to be expected. But what can we do? What we can do and what I can do is when we make those votes to make sure, like I said, we have the infrastructure to support those things. So if we don't have the infrastructure to support that 500 house build, then we shouldn't build it. We should wait. There's timelines, there's things you can do. You can push, there's so much things the councils could do. You can push dates back when they can start building and stuff like that. And they give out proffers and make sure that those proffers are actually tied to some infrastructure needs. Like if we need a new school in that district and somebody's building houses near there, tie those proffers to that school and to be built and stop dragging. We got we're supposed to have Elephant's Fork was supposed to be built years ago. And it was supposed to be, they supposed to already had found a spot for it, but we haven't found a spot for it yet. We have rezoned a bunch of land to accommodate more housing, which doesn't make sense. So it's like, it's got to come to a time where we're actually like, hey, hold on for a second. Let's get this stuff done. Let's get our priorities done first. Let's find a spot for this school to be built. And let's stop putting all our focus on building houses. Because like I said, houses is a double-edged sword. It might seem like it brings money and revenue, but it's not. And they said they had something that came out that said that 20,000 people leave Suffolk every single day and go work and spend money in other places. So even
Wow.
with us building all these houses, they're saying it's going to bring money to the businesses. People going to stay. People are only going to stay where they feel is most beneficial to them. So it's like no one's going to stay and have food in Suffolk
Hmm.
if it's not a lot of things to do in Suffolk. Businesses aren't going to come to Suffolk if you got redlining that stops them from coming. If you want to stop all the businesses from coming to Suffolk, you want to make it hard for them to open up. Nobody wants to come to Suffolk. Suffolk has a bad name for doing that. When they want to open up a business here, it's hard. Or when they do open up a business, there's always some city officials in their building telling them that something else is wrong. So it's like
Mm-mm.
it's gotta come everything needs to be balanced. I feel like everything's out of balance and out of whack right now,
Hmm.
to really kinda set up what the city really needs. But I'm also, like I said, I've been pushing for the sportsplex idea, and I got some other ideas that I'm holding in that I'm waiting for some people to kinda shoot fire because I know this is politics, so they're training me up on the politics like, "Hey, don't show your cards at once," but like I said, that sportsplex is one thing that the city could do to bring people here to help support the small businesses, help support hotels, help support gas stations, help support grocery stores. Because when people come here to do tournaments for schools and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they spend money. They spend money. They're here. Now you became a tourist spot. Now people want to come to Suffolk. Suffolk's a destination. Now, when they come here, they can see all these businesses that we have to offer. Right now, nobody wants to drive to Suffolk. When people think about Suffolk, they're like, that's too far. I'm not driving there. So we're not really getting any outside money coming to Suffolk. We're relying just on the citizens here, which is why they keep trying to build all these houses. They're relying on the backs of us and we can't afford it. We have a lot of elderly people here in Suffolk, and right now their taxes through the roof because they're
That's
building all these
crazy.
houses. I tried to tell them, I was trying to explain to this lady the other day. I'm like, she's like, why are my taxes so high? And I said, because you have a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and they just built 100 3 bedrooms, 2 bath not even a mile away from you. So now your comps has gone up. Now they
Wow.
think your house is worth more. Now the city is saying that your house is worth more, even though that you might have a leaking roof right now. The inside of your house might not even look good to the city. They said that house is worth more, and they raised your assessment up. Now you're paying more. So it's like it's really off the backs of us to support this city, and it shouldn't be like that. The city has to figure out ways to make money other places, other ways without actually relying just on the backs of its citizens to
You
survive.
almost kind of answered my question. My next question was going to be, how do you respond to residents who feel City Hall listens more to developers than to homeowners?
I don't even have to say that. You already everybody already knows. You developer, you coming here with big money, you buying homes or anything like that,
Mhm.
they'll bend over backwards for them. Everybody knows that. That's been a big thing. But it's like I understand, like I said, I understand we need houses. That everybody understands that. And we're not, and I like to say we're not saying that we don't want houses here in Suffolk.
Mhm.
But what
Mhm.
we're saying is we need a pause so that infrastructure can at least catch up. Or at least we don't need to increase the gap between infrastructure and how many homes we're building. We need to shrink the gap in between them and make it so that at least the people can see that we're actually doing something towards the infrastructure and not just
Mhm.
saying we will. Because it's election time, so a lot of people are going to come out and say that they're going to do this, say they're going to do that,
Oh yeah,
but
it's the biggest. I think it's. I mean, and again, this. I mean, it's and I don't mean this to you as a candidate, but you working
uh,
in as in real estate and just as a business owner. It gets to a point where you're selling a product to folks, right? So you want to
exactly.
say the stuff that they want to hear, so they can be like,
But
but mhm,
I love this, Gavin, and I say this, and this is the funny thing. I've had people approach me and say, "Why wouldn't you want more homes here? You own a skating rink. Why wouldn't you want more homes here? You're a real estate agent. That's more money for you." And I reply with them the same thing. It isn't just about me. Like
mm,
just because I'm good doesn't mean that the rest of the people here in Suffolk is good. I'm willing to make that sacrifice where we slow down the homes so the infrastructure can catch up because my business is not that important if the people of Suffolk are suffering. They're not even gonna come out, dude. It's just gonna be bad for them. So it's like
yeah.
they're more worried about their own ideas, their own visions and stuff like that. And it's not really benefit Suffolk. Right now, we need to listen to what the residents are telling us because believe it or not,
You don't even have to know anything up there. The residents will tell you everything. They'll go do their whole research. They'll tell you every road that need to be fixed. All you got to do is listen. I think a lot of times in politics, people forget that we are elected officials. Like we were elected, especially here. You're elected for your borough, so you're supposed to listen to what your borough
Yep.
is telling you. They
You're
want you to
hired by
do.
the people. The people are your
Yeah,
boss.
you're just a representative of them. They
Hmm.
picked one person to represent all of them. That's all you are. You're not special. You're not anything. Just because you hold a council, the title of city council doesn't make you special. You're just an elected official, so that way we don't have thousands of people coming into city hall every day griping complaints. They can just come to you so that you can address the complaints to the rest of the board. And I think a lot of people forget that.
Do you think Suffolk Council kind of struggles with that in a sense? Not saying all, but I mean, I'm just saying,
And that's
has
what
that been
comes.
a struggle that's coming to pass for Suffolk? Is that you have folks that kind of ignore that or forget that they do represent, they are employees of the people and not really for them, for themselves?
I will always say that, Gavin. I try to look at people in the best picture, the best light ever. So I don't want to say that they do that. Of course, other people would say, yeah, that's exactly what
Hmm.
they're doing. But I would say like they're just not visionaries. Like they see a path and they think that that's the only path, and they kind of stick
Mm.
to that path, even though that path might be old. There might be a better path now. They're so stuck in their ways. Like this is the path we're gonna go. We're gonna stick to this path, and that might not always be the best path. So I would say some of them, some I can say they're acting on their own the
Hmm.
benefit, their own glory. But I will say there's at least a couple. I would say maybe one or two that actually act on behalf of the people and actually listen to what the people have to say. But I'll tell you, in my borough right now, I've knocked doors. I probably knocked over 2,000 doors already since
Wow.
January.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't even know who the councilman is. They'll say, I said, do you even know who your councilman is?
Wow. That is a
No.
shame.
And it's like,
That is a
dang,
shame.
he's not even outside. I mean, I it, it's a
Two
lot of
two
people
co-
feel that
two
way.
quick follow-up questions on that note, Dwight.
Uh,
How many, if you have like a ballpark, how many residents is in your borough currently? Because I think all around in Suffolk is like 94,000 or 94, like almost 95,000 people in the city of Suffolk alone, but
I'm not really
around a
sure.
ballpark. Mhm.
I'm not really sure how many people is in here. I know that the last election, around about 3,000 and some change voted for him when he ran unopposed, but I'm sure
Okay.
a lot of people didn't vote. I'm not really
Hmm.
sure how many people exactly here
Hmm.
in my borough. We got a lot of big neighborhoods though. I would say if I had to guess, probably around about 9, 10,000. I would say
I,
probably in
I
this
was just I
borough.
was just about to say I was gonna say I know it will be more than the voters because one thing
Yeah.
I know this is in a Hampton Roads thing. This is not just a city, a Suffolk thing or like voting turnout is very bad. Like I can just speak
Yes.
for Chesapeake alone, voting turnout is like 160. Now mine we have over 250,000 plus. We're the second largest city population wise in the state, but voting turnout
Right.
so that's a huge number of people that are not voting, which one thing I always love to advocate while I'm, having conversations like with, men like yourself, or in candidates, like yourself, the importance of voting because your vote is your voice. I know for sure folks that are tuning into this episode right now, they're like that live in Suffolk. They're like, man, we got this happening, we got that
Yeah.
happening, we got this. You have to make your voices heard. We're running a little low on time, but I'm gonna ask maybe a few more questions, Dwight. And if you
Okay.
don't mind, I'd love to chop it up with you just for a couple of seconds after the show.
Yeah.
Um, how would you say up like what's some of your how can I put it? What are some of your strategies to uplift local businesses within your borough?
So right now we're working on this group that's gonna kind of be like a liaison through from the city to
Mm-hmm.
the businesses. So that way we can give new businesses that come to town, basically direction on where to go. When I opened my skating rink, it was more like I was kind of just thrown to the wolves. Didn't really know too much. I had never done a conditional use permit before
Mm-hmm.
at all. So I kind of leaned on people that I kind of knew that already had a business, and some people knew the answers, some people didn't. Some people was willing to help, some people wasn't. But it was kind of like most of the thing was all on me. I had to kind of figure it out and go on. And then if I had actually had like a group or something to guide me on what to do, then I could have saved more money. Because I would say I probably lost money just by not knowing what I could do or couldn't do at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't guess I would say that kind of fell on me. I guess I could have done a little more deeper research, but also there was stuff that I did that just kind of went in and out. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So yeah, stuff that I did out of order that I didn't know, and even when it came up to the end when I thought I was finished, and getting ready to open, there was more stuff that they hit me with that I hadn't even heard of that I was
Hmm.
supposed to do. So, right now, like I said, I'm creating this group. It's got a bunch of people in there right now that we're
Hey,
kind
Dwight,
of
if you don't mind kind of walking the opposite way where you were just at, because you're going in and out on us.
okay. How about this? Is good?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Yeah, can't
Okay, I
see
stay
you,
right
but I
here.
can hear you.
You can't see me?
No, we can't see you.
All right, I can see you. One of my neighbors, sorry. But yeah, so yeah, working on this group just be a liaison and kind of help guide businesses in the right direction on how to do a CUP, how to open a business, how to get the grants and stuff that the city offers, a bunch of different things, how to get in contact with contractors, architects to help get their stuff going. So that's what I'm building on right now, for downtown Suffolk, but also, as my own person, people have come and approached me, asked me what it takes to open up a business, what to do, and I offer that free of charge. I'm not charging nobody for that. They can just come to me, ask me what they need, and I can help them out.
Last question I want to ask you, Dwight. Why should residents of the Suffolk City Borough vote for you come November 3rd?
I would say that the citizens of Suffolk should vote for me because I'm going to give them the direction that they need to go. I'm going to be the ear that actually listens. I'm going to be the transparency that they actually need when it comes to being in the seat and letting them know actually what's going on. I feel like a lot of times people are clueless. People don't know. My social media page is very transparent. Like I post everything up there. So I'll just continue doing the things I do, build new things with the city where we can create like things so that it can be more transparent. Just work on being more transparent to the people, giving them a more balanced growth. Because like I said, I'm tired of sitting in traffic. I know they're tired of sitting in traffic. I know they're tired of their kids being in overcrowded schools, their kids being in trailers. So I want to give them the balance that they're asking for. I want to give them the push for infrastructure that they've been begging for, so they can have a good quality of life here in Suffolk. So I want to give them a better vision. I want to give them a young somebody that's out here that's going to be in the streets, that's going to go door to door, that's going to actually listen, that's actually going to go in the city and explore the problems and figure out solutions for the problem. Not just sit behind a desk, not just sit behind a dais and vote yes or no. Somebody who's actually going to be out here and interact and engage with the city, and that's what I can offer them.
Ladies and gents, you heard it here. You heard it here. Dwight, what I've done, I put up your site. Folks can continue to get in touch with you. I want to make sure I have it correct. SuffolkCityCouncil.com.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, all right, awesome. So, folks, look, if you like what you heard and you happen to live in the Suffolk area, or if you know some folks that live in the Suffolk area, and specifically the Suffolk borough, Suffolk City Borough, be sure to check out more info on Mr. Dwight James. Dwight, I truly appreciate it, brother. Look, don't go anywhere. I want to chop it up with you just for a couple seconds, but I do appreciate you taking the time out your busy schedule to come here on the show. I know we had some technical difficulties at first, but hey, we made it happen.
All right, appreciate you, Mr. Gavin. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, my friends. Well, look, I hope you enjoyed yet another great convo here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, look, continue to focus on local. Do your research in your local areas, regardless of where you live at. Please, you have to do your own research and be aware of what's happening in your backyard. Well, that's my time, y'all. Look, stay safe, stay informed, and I will talk to y'all for another great convo here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.